Welcome to another video. Hi, it's nice to see you again. I hope you have your coffee or your tea because we're gonna dive into another book. In this video, we will redefine what success means together. Today we're gonna discuss this book, The Psychology of Money. Maybe you've already heard about it. Funny enough, it didn't necessarily teach me anything about making money, but it changed my perspective on how I view money and how I view success and how I view designing my life. So let's dive into it. What I want to start with is the line between bold and reckless is a thin line. Because when you start to do something, and especially now in the day of social media and content creation, when you start making videos, everyone will say it's cringe. But if you have the views, the likes, and external validation, then all of a sudden you're a genius and you're so creative and you had it all along in you. And that's basically the same thing. When you build a business, when you start to do something new, quit your job because you want to pursue other things in life, maybe you're being considered as reckless because nobody really understands what you're doing. But once that other thing gains success, then you're bold. Thinking outside of the box, everyone praises you for being that bold. But if it didn't work out for other people's measures, then you were just being reckless. It's such a thin line, and you have to understand that because the way your decisions are viewed by others don't necessarily have anything to do with the decision itself. It's viewed by how much perceived success comes with that decision, and that always happens in hindsight. Okay, then on to the second thing. The second thing has everything to do with the quote, "It takes 10 years to become an overnight success." You must have already heard this quote, but this is a practical example. So everyone knows Disney, but Disney wasn't always successful. He started out with short animations and cartoons, and around the mid-1930s, Disney created 400 cartoons. They were very loved, but they were also really expensive. So it was not profitable or not sustainable to keep making these cartoons. So remember, he was not successful when he started out. And he kept going because people loved his cartoons, but he kept going and he made 400 cartoons. Now, in this day and age, we give up when we don't see success at the 10th iteration. Keep on going, babes, because what he did afterwards was create Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, change the trajectory of Disney and basically of our childhoods. Because what he did was he moved away from cartoons to a long movie. And that movie became very successful. That movie produced so much profit that he was able to finance all those 400 cartoons. All his debt was paid off with that one movie. And that one movie couldn't be made if he hadn't produced and created those 400 cartoons. So it really takes 10 years to become an overnight success. For example, for me, I'm now at the, 7th video. I love doing this. I'm doing this for myself, but of course I would love to inspire other people with these videos. I'm not gonna stop now because I don't necessarily see the engagement now. No, I'm gonna continue because I'm gonna build my craft. I'm gonna build my interview skills, my editing skills, and in the process, I'm also trying to see what works best on how to engage and how to communicate with people and really create a community of people that want to grow together and get more out of life. That's not gonna happen at the 10th video. That's gonna happen at the 200th video. And maybe it doesn't happen at the 200th video. Maybe I have to pivot my idea, because if you really look closely to that story, Disney could have stopped or he could have continued with his cartoons, but he saw at the 400th cartoon, he realized it was not profitable. It was not sustainable. So he had to change trajectories. He had to come up with a new idea to still do animations, but in another way. in another form. So we have to be mindful with the fact that we have to be consistent. You cannot stop at the 10th video. You also have to be mindful of when that format is not working, let it go and move on. Take everything you learned with you, but move on. So let me ask you a question. What do you think of when you hear the word successful? Who is in your eyes successful? When are you successful? Have you really thought about it, or have you just absorbed all the views of your environment on success? Because if you think of success as this hotshot CEO with luxury cars and luxury brands and all things luxury, good for you. That could be success to you. But the way he described success was so clear to me. Control over what you want, when you want to, with the people you want to, is the broadest luxury lifestyle you can have. No luxury item can beat that. That was so profound, I need a sip of my coffee. If you're thinking, no, success is financial freedom to me and I want to make more money in order to live better and to spend more, well, basically, then you're continuously chasing more money. What if you get fired? What do you do then? Do you have some savings? Do you have a backup? Be critical of the way you think about success. And he describes something that is really beautiful. He describes the freedom of being able to choose. The freedom of being able to choose what you really want to do out of life. Because time is precious. We don't have unlimited amounts of time. We really have to be conscious about how we spend our time and not let anyone else, any external belief, get you trapped. I don't want that for you. I hope you also don't want that for yourself. I did not intend to get rich. I just wanted to get independent. We can leave aside rich, but independence has always been my personal finance goals. Chasing the highest returns or leveraging my assets to live the most luxurious life has little interest to me. Both look like games people do to impress their friends, and both have hidden risks. I mostly just want to wake up every day knowing my family and I can do whatever we want to do on our own terms. Every financial decision we make revolves around that goal. And let's face it, in this day and age, we get harassed left and right by all these ads of, you want to be rich, you want to earn 1 million passive income by investing. No, I don't want that. I don't want to earn $100 million, and I don't want to watch your course on how to make money. What I want to do is make more money and be conscious with my spending in order to save that money, and not necessarily for anything, just in order to have, some people call it fuck you money, and that is basically the freedom you create for yourself in order to say no. Maybe I want to take some time to travel, or maybe I want to take some time to take care of my family, and that you're able to do that. Or maybe I want another job that pays less but is more meaningful to me. You create your financial freedom. So that is what I want to leave you with. Be conscious of the way you think about your life and the way you think about success. Success doesn't necessarily always have to be monetary. Of course, and I'm not saying that you don't need to earn and that you can just sit back and relax and money will come to you. Of course not. You really have to work hard in this life. And for some people who are privileged, it's easier to say than others. So I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't build financial wealth. Of course. But you also really have to be conscious about how you spend your life. Sometimes we can get so caught up in, oh, I have to earn money. Oh, I have to create a better future, I have to do this and that we forget to take ownership of our decisions. Okay, my coffee is getting cold, so I'm gonna sip my coffee and I'm gonna speak to you on the next video. See you then.